Everyone. Hello everyone, it's Kieran here from Affirm Press. I'm filling in for Cheryl Akel and Jane Tara this week on What Are You Reading? Those two are two of my favourite people in the whole book industry, so it's a big privilege here to be guest presenting. As I said, I'm Kieran from Affirm Press. You potentially don't know Affirm Press, but I reckon you'll know some of the books we publish. So this one, The Dictionary of Lost Words, I think a lot of you have read. Massive bestseller for Affirm Press. So much love from your community on this book. So that's who Affirm Press is. We're the publisher of The Dictionary of Lost Words. We're also the publisher of The Wife and the Widow by Christian White, and likewise The Nowhere Child by Christian White. I suspect you guys will know those two titles. As I said, Kieran from Affirm Press here this week, tuning in and guest presenting What Are You Reading? Send me through your comments because I would love to hear. Hello there to Malvina Yock and to Emma Fitzgerald and Tracy Anderson and Jane Tara. The reason I've asked to guest present this week is because of this book, The Tribute by John Byron, which has just come out. Lots of people have pointed out that John Byron's an excellent name for an author, which of course it is. This book is really fabulous. If you like crime and you love Australian crime, I just cannot recommend this one enough. All right, you can see from the cover, it's pretty out there. It's pretty different. It's about a serial killer who's stalking Sydney and he's cutting up people according to an ancient anatomy text. But it is a really fresh Australian crime, and the serial killer turns out not to be the worst person in the story, which is fabulous. Do send me through the books you're reading, guys. I've already seen a bit of love for the Dictionary of Lost Words there from Joanna Hyland and a couple of others. I do love Australian crime, so I'm going to run through a few. Chris Hammer has got a new book out this year for Christmas. I haven't quite read Trust, but I've read his two before that. So I'm looking forward to his new one for Christmas. While I'm talking about, I was talking about our author, Christian White. He's got a new title coming November this year as well, which is called Wild Place, which is going to be super, super, super exciting. I've got a few crime ones to write off. The only two big Australian crime authors this year are going to be Christian and Chris Hammer. So if you love your Aussie crime, you might have to go back to some of the backlist ones. Dervla McTiernan I always love. For the first time, I just bought a Michael Robotham. I've never read a Michael Robotham. He's very well loved, and I know lots of people read his books, so I'm looking forward to getting into this standalone one from him. So many of you guys are reading some excellent books. 100 Days by Alice Pong by Ilona Young. Alice is a tremendous writer and a tremendous person. Another one of our authors, I promise I'm not just going to plug our authors, Anna Downs has a brilliant new book out called The Shadow House coming October. So her Safe Place is well worth a read if you haven't read them before. Emma Fitzgerald is cannot wait for Wild Place. Yes, I'm pretty excited for it too. Good to hear that someone is going to be reading The Tribute next week, Linda Ballog. Make sure you tell us what you think about it. Girl A by Abigail Dean is what Wynne Firth is reading, which I've heard good things about. I just finished this book last week. I don't know if any of you guys have read that one, From Hachette by Matt Noble, set in Darwin in the 60s. This is one of those books where I really loved 3/4 of it, and the ending annoyed me a little bit. So I'm sure everyone else out there has got stories similar to that, but great setting and yeah, just a good sort of page turner. Just got a bit too violent at the end for me. Catch Us the Foxes. I'd love to hear what that's like from Heather Van Amstel. I've seen a bit of pre-amp about that one. Hey, Kieran, you're not Cheryl, says Lee Revell. That's right. I'm Kieran Rogers from Affirm Press. I'm guest presenting this week just because I asked to, basically, just to help plug a few of our authors. It's quite hard at the moment with everyone in lockdown to plug some of the new emerging Australian authors. So do please look on forums like these for good books. Karen Brooks has joined in. Michael Robotham's books are fabulous. Have just started the 8th wonder. While we're talking Karen Brooks, Karen is the book of the month with this absolutely adorable looking book, The Good Wife of Bath. Karen, you must be absolutely delighted with the cover on that and how it's come together. Karen is a tremendous Australian author. If you don't know her, writes really fantastic historical fiction. This one, I'm going to read the back blurb here. This funny retelling of Chaucer's The Wife of Bath's Tale from the Canterbury Tales is a cutting assessment of what happens when male power is left to run unchecked, as well as a recasting of a literary classic that gives a maligned character the chance to tell her own true story. Sounds fascinating, right on trend. I think people love those histories of women who are sort of pushed aside or forgotten in history, and the sort of chance for people who are downtrodden to tell their story. So, Karen, I wish you all the best with it. A couple more crime ones before I move on. I've heard good things about Before You Knew My Name by Jacqueline Bublitz. So looking forward to reading that one shortly. And I just picked up Mark Brandy's The Others at the bookshop the other day. I've read Mark Brandy's two previous books. I particularly liked his book, Wimmera. This looks like it's gone back to a similar sort of territory for me. So do tell me if you like it, anyone on here. Someone's reading The Good Wife of Bath and the Dictionary of Lost Words. Well done, Natalie Murad. That's excellent. Anyone, some of you out there, I'm sure you guys do what I do, which is I've noticed I've had this book on my shelf for a while, Daisy Jones and the Six, to read by Taylor Jenker Reads. She's got a new book out at the moment called Malibu Rising, and I often do this thing when I see the new book come out, I think, oh, Christ, I better go and read that one that I didn't even read the first one of. So I've got that to read pretty soon. So Lee Revell said, I thought I'd logged into the wrong place when it wasn't Cheryl. Yes, I'm definitely not Cheryl, but I'm Kieran from the Firm Press, and I'm just guest presenting this week. Joanne Hyland says she can't wait to read your book, Karen. I love doing this because I love your comments. Leah Penovic's reading The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which I don't know that one, but I'd love all the books that you guys help show me onto as well. Linda Below says she loved Wimmera too, and she's currently reading or looking forward to reading the others. Loves Daisy Jones and the Six, crazy but fabulous, says Malvina Yock. A lot of people love Daisy Jones and the Six, so I think a lot of people are looking forward to her new one, Malibu Rising. Another example, this book, The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley, is the one she published 2 years ago. She's got a new one out, The Missing Sister, which has prompted me to get off my butt and read this one, which I will do shortly. Couple of slightly different ones. Sorrow and Bliss. I haven't read this yet. I just bought this last week. I haven't heard one person give a bad review of this book, which is always a good sign. So I think it's one of those quiet books that just keeps finding a fan base by Meg Mason. So I'm looking forward to reading that. You guys are quick. So a lot of love for The Good Wife of Bath already, which is excellent to see. I'm sure lots of you out there buy books just because you love the cover. I just bought After Story for that reason by Larissa Berendt. I hadn't heard of her before this book. She's an Indigenous Australian writer, and I think a lot of you guys are discovering Indigenous Australian writers if you hadn't already. I just think there's a beautiful style of storytelling that they contribute to our Australian literature, which I think is a bit special. On that subject, Melissa Lutsenko's Too Much Sleep. I always bring this up. I really, really, really love this book, and I just can't tell people enough how much I love it and how much I respect her and think she's a tremendous writer. I'm slightly worried about the stack of books next to me falling over, but let's hope it doesn't do that. But if you see that happen, you'll know what happens. Karen Murphy says she finished still. Matt Noble in 2 days. So good. She's just started The Bone Code by Kathy Reaches. Nice to meet you, Kieran. Nice to meet you too, Karen. I love this book as well. Return to Uluru, which is about it's a non-fiction title about an Indigenous man who was shot dead by a policeman at Uluru in the 1930s, which I knew nothing about, and so I really, really, really enjoyed this book. KT Hollywood's reading Sapiens at the moment, which is excellent. It's one of those books that people do just keep discovering and finding, and likewise reading and love. Lee Revell just started previewing Over My Dead Body by Jeffrey Archer, 100 pages in, but it's a page turner. Excellent. All good authors you're reading. I know a lot of people have read Sally Ruby's Normal People. One of the joys of being in the publishing industry is we were already getting circulated her new title, and I'm just hearing the absolute best things about that as well. So I think it's going to be very, very, very big this year. All Better Readings posted the question, do you think Kieran is doing a better job than Cheryl? That'll be interesting to see what people feedback on that one. Joanne Hyland says, can't wait to read The Missing Sister. She's read all the others and loved Lucinda Riley's well-researched historical novels. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Lucinda Riley as an author. I'm also reading this one, which is a bizarre twist. So Make It Happen by Joanna Levin. She's a Murdoch author. This is very much in the personal development space, but her voice is just fantastic. I really love her. She's just no nonsense and self-deprecating, and she's excellent. And then I'm also looking forward to this one, which is coming out next month, which I think a lot of you guys will hear about. It's by Ultimo Press, which is one of the new publishers launching in Australia. They're an imprint of Hardy Grant Books, which is a publisher that I worked for many years and a tremendous Australian publisher. Beautiful, beautiful title, When Things Are Alive, They Hum, and a gorgeous cover. And having the name Hannah Bent, which is very close to Hannah Kent, I find quite amusing and won't hurt her as an author. So looking forward to that, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of that next month when it comes out. My Year of Living Vulnerably by Rick Morton. Then His 100 Years of Dirt by Laura Rain. Yeah, good titles again. Another one that just a quirky one that's my second last one I'll show. This book, HHHH by Lauren Benet, was recommended to me by a bookseller. I love going into bookshops and just saying to a good bookseller, just give me something that I wouldn't have read and I won't know about. And this was recommended to me. It's set in World War II in Czechoslovakia in the late 30s. Terrific. Just a random one. And then for the kids, I just started this title, Artemis Fowl. So this is a very popular series by Owen Colfer. I've heard so much about this series, and Owen Colfer's endorsed a few of our kids' books, which have really helped them sell. So I thought I should actually go and read one of his books, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, even though it's a kids' book. So there's my collection of books that I'm reading. Lots of Helen Jelliff says hello from Perth, Western Australia. How hard to find much time to read, watching too much sport on TV. I agree, but I always find a place for reading. Veronica Joyce says, my son loved the Artemis Fowl series. I really would recommend it for all kids who are getting into their reading. I think that's going to be it for me, guys. Obviously, we're all a lot of us stuck in lockdown, so please try and support your local bookstores if you can. They're all still open. They're taking phone orders. They're taking web orders. Likewise, if you buy books from Booktopia or Big W or Kmart, keep doing that. Keep reading. Use the spare time we've all got to do some reading. There's heaps of great Australian fiction books and the like coming out. That's it from me. See you later, guys.